So, as somebody that has been heavily working on themselves for almost 3 years now, one of the many things that I have put at the forefront of my self-improvement journey has been me working on my physical appearance or my presentation and presenting myself to be more attractive when I step out of the house, to not only attract women, but potential new and big opportunities into my life and to help me, network and become more social with people. And so in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys the 5 things that I have done that you can do right now that will damn near instantly make you more attractive. But before we go ahead and we dive into the video, be sure to go ahead and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. But with all that said, let's go ahead, let's dive into the video and the first thing that you can do right now. The first thing you can go ahead and do to instantly make yourself more attractive, and literally within like 1 to 2 hours, is by getting a fresh cut or keeping up with your grooming. And now I know this sounds like pretty common advice and you would think is well known, but you'd be surprised when I step out of the house, bro, and I walk around and I actually, people watch, how many guys either look homeless or don't get fresh cuts, or when they get fresh cuts, it's probably not a good cut. And me personally, I don't get the best cuts either, but I've experimented a good amount throughout the years, and I found with my facial structure, with my head, and with my body, what women like on me. And so far, from what I've found, women like fades, and especially recently with me experimenting, women like tapers. And so what I recommend to you, bro, is if you're somebody that's not getting cuts that often, or more importantly, you're going to a public barber and you're paying like 10 to 15 bucks for just some simple buzz cut, I recommend you knock that shit off immediately. Go find yourself a legitimate barber and then start keeping up with your grooming. Because you know what they say, when you look good, you feel good. And I know a lot of my brothers watching this that get nice cuts and get fresh cuts pretty often can attest to this, because bro, there will be times where I will go more than 2.5 weeks without a cut and I will be sad because I'm starting to look crusty. But as soon as I get that fresh cut, bro, I feel like I'm on top of the world and I start to get a lot of shit done. So if you want to come off much more attractive to not only people and women, but you want to actually become more productive, go get yourself a fresh cut. And at the very least, you want to keep up with your grooming at least once a month. And if you have the money for it, I recommend personally, and this is what I do, bi-weekly. And then while you're in between cuts, do your best, if you care, because I know some guys don't. Me personally, I've started to care a little bit because I look at it as like a self-respect thing. When I step out of the house, I want to make sure I try to always look my best. Invest into like a little razor and keep yourself lined up, even if it's not the best or if it's not to how your barber did it. Do your best to try to maintain your grooming in between cuts. The second thing you could go ahead and do right now to make yourself more attractive is, if you haven't already, bro, and this is something that I've put at the forefront the last couple of months this year, is having or building some sort of fashion sense and style that you not only like, but that you feel comfortable and confident in. And before you think to yourself, buying clothes or spending money on clothes is stupid, I used to think the exact same thing not too long ago. I used to think that, because a shirt is a shirt, that it wouldn't make a difference in how it would make me feel and how people would perceive me. But it wasn't until when I decided to invest some money into upgrading my wardrobe and updating it did I realize how much of a difference it not only made in how I looked, but how I felt about myself, especially with how I feel when I step out of the house. But more importantly, how many people and women would take notice of me when I'm just out and about. Because, bro, the amount of compliments that I have gotten about a certain shirt that I was wearing or the shoes that I had on or whatever the case, it's fucking ridiculous. And it wasn't until I got enough compliments and, you know, I've had enough interactions with people, and especially women, and when they would tell me like how good of a fashion sense that I have, even though I think it's pretty basic, like I just know how to put basic colors together. I'm not like some of these guys on Instagram. Did I realize how important having some sort of fashion, having a decent wardrobe can be in making yourself more attractive? And so I highly recommend, bro, if you have a little bit of money, go out, go shopping, spend a little money on yourself. It doesn't have to be fucking crazy expensive. Like, honestly, I would say my wardrobe, if I were to do the math, because I know how to shop, and, you know, it helps that I got homies that are sponsored athletes from brands. Shout out to them for helping me. I probably spent, I don't know, less than, I would say $700 on my entire wardrobe. And the thing is, I completely revamped my wardrobe too for less than $700, but it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. And then last point that I wanted to touch on this part is in terms of finding or figuring out what sense of fashion works best for you. Find one that you feel comfortable and confident in. Don't fucking listen to some jackass on the internet telling you should dress this way because women find this to be the most attractive, when in reality they're just sharing their personal experience and what women might have told him or them. Because I noticed with me consuming content from other self-improvement creators and dating coaches, they make it as if women don't find any other sense of fashion attractive. When if you look at somebody like me who did the complete opposite, not listen to them, I can fucking attest, bro, that women will find any sense of fashion attractive on you as long as you come off confident. And the only way you're gonna come off confident or help exude confidence is by you feeling confident in what you're wearing. And so if you notice when you try to emulate another guy's fashion sense and you just know it doesn't feel right for you and you try to force it, you're clearly not confident in that, bro. So instead, go find something that you feel comfortable and confident in, and you'd be surprised at how much of a difference it might make, not only to people, but to women. Because like I've said in one of my previous videos, people, especially women, pay very close attention to details. And so if you want to make sure that you make a good first impression, make sure you have a good wardrobe and it's to the best that you can make it be for your current situation. The third thing you can go ahead and do to make yourself more attractive, and to me this is one of two underrated ones in this video, and that is, bro, for you to display good body language and good posture. Now, if you're somebody that naturally has bad posture but you're working on it, whether you're, you know, trying to build up your core strength and strengthen your back, and you're working on your fitness, or you're going to a chiropractor, in the meantime, while you're trying to do that, try your best to be conscious whenever you're out and about, or when you're in certain social settings and you're sitting on a chair and you notice like you're slouching forward with your head down. Try your best to remind yourself to keep good posture by keeping your head up, keeping your shoulders nice, back and relaxed, and keeping your chest held high. Now, what you don't want to do is keep your shoulders back, like, you know, people could tell you're forcing it and sticking and puffing your chest up high. No, you just want to stand nice and tall and just walk naturally. And not only that, but when you're in certain social settings, especially on a date, you want to go ahead and try your best, bro, to display good body language. And the reason why is because women, more so than men, are much more socially calibrated, and so they can read a room or read a man's body language as as fast as that. And so if you want to come off confident to a woman, one pro tip that I can go ahead and give you, and I don't remember where I got this from, but this changed everything for me, is try your best to take up space. And that is by, spreading your legs a little bit, pause, and kind of just relaxing yourself. If you're on a couch, putting one arm or both arms across the couch, or putting your arms on a rest chair and kind of just lean back, because what that's going to go ahead and display, it is going to display a lack of interest, because obviously if you're leaned back, you're not too engaged in the conversation, but it's also going to display that you're very nonchalant, chill, and that you're confident in who you are, and that you don't give a fuck about what's going on around you or what people think or may have to say about you. The fourth thing that you can do to make yourself more attractive, and this is the second most underrated one, and to me honestly is the most underrated one for life in general: display good energy and have a good attitude, not only towards people but towards your life, bro. Because as somebody that used to be very depressed, very suicidal, and very negative, the reason why a lot of my friendships aren't necessarily as strong as I would like them to be, or the reason why now looking back people didn't invite me to do certain things, or the reason why my social life now isn't to where I wanted it to be, and it's to the fault of my own, but it's because I've always had a bad attitude and a bad energy about myself that ultimately affected people and drove people away. And so once I realized this, I decided to go ahead and slowly fix that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a perfect person. There are days where I don't necessarily have the best energy or the best attitude, and I'm not always grateful. But if you were to ask some of my closest friends, and me even having a dating life is proof of that, I've come a long way with how I go about not only speaking to people, but how I treat people, and how I am when minor inconveniences or big inconveniences come up, not only in my life, but when other people inconvenience me. I handle it totally different. And I've noticed not only like my friends that are still in my life, not only have those friendships have strengthened even more, but a lot of women have told me that I'm very confident and I have good energy. And I knew that was the case when I remember there was a date last year that I went out on, and this was the first of many times I would get this, but I knew that's when I had a breakthrough. When I was out on a date with a girl and I was making eye contact with her, and I was very energetic and asking questions, she proceeded to tell me the first thing that came out of her mouth. She's like, "Oh, you must do this often." And I was thinking to myself, and I asked her, I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you give very good eye contact and you come off with good energy and you're very, very confident in yourself." And that's when I noticed, when she said that, I had a breakthrough. And so to any guy watching this video, bro, if you're somebody that is lonely, or you tend to notice that nothing ever seems to work out, or you notice no woman ever wants to be around you, one of the reasons why that may be the case is because you may have a shitty attitude, you may give off shitty energy, but more importantly, you may have a shitty mindset. And that if you go ahead right now and take the necessary steps to fix it, you might be surprised at how much of a difference it might make. Lastly, the fifth and final thing you can go ahead and do to make yourself more attractive, and this one isn't necessarily instant, this one is going to take a lot of time, energy, and effort, but I think has the biggest payout, and that is, if you haven't already, bro, start building yourself, or build yourself a solid fucking physique. And the reason why I'm saying this is because with everything that I've done in my life up until this point, especially the last 3 years with me working on myself, nothing has ever come close to having a bigger payout for me than building my physique. Like, I just come off more confident. My posture is a lot better. My clothes fit me better. And women find me much more attractive because with a solid physique and depending on how you dress yourself, you can display what's called more sex appeal. And obviously that's what a lot of guys want to do with women, especially when it comes to trying to spark a woman's romantic interest rather than, you know, her possibly looking at you as platonic or as friends. You want to try and display as much sex appeal as you possibly can. And not only that, but people just respect you more. Because I have noticed with myself, once I started building my physique and I started putting all the other pieces that help you make you more attractive as a man together, I started to finally become visible. Not invisible, visible to women. Because a lot of people, and only men can notice these things when you're young, but you don't realize if you're a guy that, you know, is out of shape, doesn't dress well, looks homeless, this and that. It's not until you become attractive to at least a couple of people, or when people start to take notice of you, do you realize how invisible you were for a majority of your life. Because as somebody that went from, you know, having zero dating experience to now going out with over 50 girls within the last couple of years, I can tell you that one of the biggest things that has helped me become visible to the opposite sex has been me building my body. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, bro. And as much as women won't or hate to admit it, physicality for a man is just as important as for us when we look for stuff in a woman. Like, beauty and physicality obviously is at the top of most guys' lists, and, you know, all the other little things. But women also want, if they can, to have something nice to look at. And so if you haven't already, bro, go ahead and start building your physique. And don't necessarily also do it just for the primary reason of trying to be attractive, but along the way of you building your physique, you're going to learn a lot about yourself and learn a lot of life lessons that you can honestly apply to every single area or other area of your life that will help enhance and better your life and you be in a much, much better place for yourself. But that's all the things I had to go ahead and share in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys found some value out of it. And if you did, be sure to go and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notifications bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm about to run out of seconds, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace.